Hello, my dear friends. Namaste, Namaskar. Good morning and good evening, and a warm welcome to one and all of you. It gives me immense pleasure in meeting with all of you through these sessions. I won't call it as sessions, it's like sharing. It's like a discussion where we are able to talk through many things that are very, very important to lead our lives. And today, if you see, the world is after materialism. Actually, materialism is also part of your life, but that's not going to constitute and build that life in a holistic measure. There are many other parameters: your attitude, your behavioral pattern, controlling your emotions, and focusing on the future, and overcoming so many hustles, unprecedented events, and all those things. This is all part of your life, right? And the world is not much focused in planning, right? In preparing your mindset, preparing your emotional system. Emotion is not a bad thing, but how you handle that emotion, where you use that energy, negative side or positive side. So there are various nomenclatures we are discussing consistently. I would strongly encourage you, please stay in touch with us, right? You can subscribe to our channel, or at least you can start. In channel we do many other things. Maybe those content are not suitable. We teach a lot of spiritual stuffs. Maybe that is not suitable. That's okay. But then at least stay in touch with us, right? You have my WhatsApp number. You can store. You will see my status where I keep uploading these messages. I think you can go through those. All right. Yet another session, yet another day, and yet another wonderful opportunity that we are able to share something useful and important. Very reason for these sessions, I already told you, we want to build people as overcomers, and overcomers will not lack in confidence. They will not be very stressed. They will not get into depression. They will not get into disappointment or frustrations. They might, but then they will be able to quickly overcome that. Matter of hours, for some people, matter of days. That's why it's very, very important for you to connect through these sessions. Today's session, the topic is: do not look at the volume, rather look at the value. Okay, to make it even more simpler, do not look at the quantity, but look at the quality. All right, now let's start with the food, and then we will talk about and translate into some nomenclatures that are very, very useful for our lives. There are various parameters of life: education, qualification, profession, and married life, and bachelor life, and investments, and economy, and even political situations. You can't do anything about political situations, but how to handle when it impacts you, when it bites you hard, right? There are a lot of things that we really need to consider, because these are all, like coming as a package, and we have to clearly alienate and therefore extract the principles that are applicable to our lives. Now, food. There are various hotels where you get unlimited meals. People are very fascinated and they go eat unlimited meals, but the quality of the food is so bad. They mix many, many chemicals like ajinomoto and this and that. Which hotel does that? Nobody knows. Only after it gets into your digestive system, people are having all loose motions, diarrheas, and vomitings, and all kind of problems. Then they go to the doctor. You have a problem in the stomach. The first question, general question that the doctor asks: did you have outside food? Why? Because the food that you had consumed is not deserving for quality. You looked at the quantity, and some people, this hotel is really free. Now there are not too many people. Let us get inside that hotel. No, don't do that. Even if it's crowdy, still get to a place where you get something of quality in nature, right? And quantity does not matter. Like what you eat really is hygienic enough or nutritious enough, or all the things you need to check. Many of us are aware of these situations, so I'm not saying you are into this, but then if you are into this, you can always change your habitual practice. Now let's slowly move or shift our focus from the aspects of food to the aspects of life. Let's talk about young people. This session is predominantly for young people, because in the world that we are living today, young people are being pressed hard that they got to know many things. or in other words, they got to know everything. We are also, I think we have done a session already. You need not know everything in life, right? Or you need not do everything in life. Probably you can build knowledge, that is also good. However, what you need to do, you really need to make a choice. And do not look at the volume. I know so many things, master of so I know so many things, but master of nothing. I mean, you really cannot sell, you cannot milk the same cow, that you know many things but then you're not master, you're not a specialist. Right? For example, let's talk about the profession. Doctors, MBBS doctors, he's a general physician. He's not specialized in anything, but then the guy can investigate, do the basic analysis, and he can refer you. It's an orthopedic problem, or is it a neurological problem, or is it something related to a dental issue, right? Some people go, I have a jaw pain, I don't know what is happening here, but there is a problem, there is a dent in your teeth, and he can refer you to a dentist, but he does the basic analysis. You could pick a profession like this, no problem. But then um, that even he's not so well received in the in the society. You see, people hardly go to general physicians these days, because there is good awareness then that people can themselves diagnose, no, no, this is bone related, this is neurological related, let me find a neuro or a gastroentero specialist. Those days we always used to go to MBBS doctors only. In fact, we don't even know their qualification, right? I was a 5-year-old kid or a 4-year-old kid, talking about many decades ago or few decades ago. We used to go and they give some tablet, open your mouth, and we swallow in the clinic itself, or they inject something and we come back home and somehow it gets well. We were doing well. But I would say, those days are gone. Why? Because those days technology, awareness, Google, nothing is, of that sort is there. They say Google doctor is also playing a very important role. Nothing wrong. You're diagnosing almost there. 25-30% we all have knowledge of our system. Then we go to the specialist and then he does some test and gets you there. Now, why am I giving this example is the quality, right? The guy is very specialized in a certain area, bone related matters, nerve related matters, or probably brain related matters, or oncology, people who diagnose cancer, especially in intestines or colon or something like that. Now if you are a profession already pursuing medicine, the important point for you is you already need to foresee what you are going to be in 8 years from now or 7. You got to be a practitioner in under certain specialist or a doctor, or in-house practitioner. What you want to get into after you finish your MBBS, what do you want to do? Or people already get into BDS, right? They have already made a choice. I don't want to get into MBBS and do an MS, but rather let me get into BDS. Or people get into veterinary, or people get into Ayurvedic doctors. There is a 4 or 5 years course. They are very clear. They are very decisive of what they want to, which is also good. When I used to be doing an engineering long time ago, right? I don't want to tell you which year. Uh, those days we didn't have the choice of picking a course or a branch, civil engineering, chemical, mechanical, computers, or whatever. They will allot. Without a choice, you will have to pursue that based on your first year score, and so many other parameters were there. The caste system also played a role. But nowadays, it is really an advantage where children are able to pick and choose which line they want to get into, which is really good. However, the problem is you stay there, you stick there, right? You got to enhance your skills, right? But when you enhance your skills, you are getting into too many things. The volume is so huge, the volume is too big, it's a heavy lifting thing, but you are not actually picking something that is solid. Let's take engineering or computer engineering as an example. You got into, for example, AI, right? AI is related to automation, artificial intelligence. It's related to a lot of automations and robotics and this and that. But then you got to foresee the market. How much of robotics can be accommodated in the in India, in a country like India, because you are going to be in India, or probably you want to pick a job in abroad. For example, in Japan, is really well received. America is also picking up and all that. You already need to foresee, and you got to pursue your skills you're I mean to say, more than pursuing, you got to be running in a certain direction where you are focusing and marching ahead in that direction. That's called as building the content, not building the volume, building the quality, not about the quantity. Correct. I also know robotics, I also know many things in AI, I am also a data analytics guy, I know data science, I know this, I know that. By the time you come out, what are you specialized in? The company is not able to map you specifically. You will do well in interviews, but then you will never get offers. People will be really fascinated, excited, but they won't be able to map you somewhere. Therefore, you got to build that architectural skills if you have to, or the robotic skills if you have to. And an architect, I'm a Java architect, I don't know anything in .NET. I'm a .NET architect, I don't know anything about database, data architects, right? I'm talking about software engineering because I know a little about that. Correct. Now you got to really be very specific. Are you a GUI, graphic interface architect? Are you a e-commerce architect? Right? Are you a CRM architect, customer relationship management, like MS Dynamics and stuff like that? What architect you are? From there you can draw a lot of threads. You can extend it to Magento. Magento is another system, e-commerce front ending platform, store platform. You can build or enhance. A data architect cannot be limited to only SQL. No, you should also know Oracle. You should also extend into Sybase, COBOL, so many other things, right? Or big data. All these are part of that same architectural thing. But then within that thing that you have finger pointed, you can enhance your skills. You are a data architect. Within that, you can expand your volume. But before pointing to that specific node, you cannot keep saying that I know many things, I'm an architect of many things. Architect of many things doesn't mean anything to the company, right? You are an architect in which area, right? Likewise, the other platforms like biotechnology, right? Biotechnology is also picking up a lot in the medical field, especially. You are already specified and specialist. Now don't look at the volume, how can I enhance, because that itself is like a small entity. I'm giving examples on both the sides. One side, computer engineering is really vast, it's like an ocean. You got to fish the size of the fish what you want, where you want to get into. That's complicated, right? But not very complicated. You got to really make a decision what suits your passion, what suits your vision, and stuff like that. But in a thing like biotechnology, you really need to the varieties are very few. You really need to the medical engineering, right? Medical engineering, in the sense they design certain equipments, right? They are part of it, which means the area itself is very focused, and the scope is very limited. Now you cannot enhance beyond that. Therefore focus on that, which means you don't have to focus on volume or quantity, because there is no scope for it. It's limited already, and you got to focus on the quality what you want to deliver, right? One of my niece, she is into biotechnology, and this is exactly what I told her. You don't have to focus much beyond, but focus on what you're already into. Civil engineering, for example, lots of things in civil engineering: bridge construction, house construction, even tank, water tank construction, overhead tank construction. So many various departments in civil engineering. Or you can call yourself as a builder. I know many builders having no idea about what's happening in any department. Because why? Immediately they will pull this guy, that guy, and other contractors and all. It's they're only like matchmakers. In other words, brokers. And don't call yourself as a civil engineer, and shame on you. You should be specialized in some areas. For example, you are a specialist in foundation soil test, and then from there you can design the number of pillars and columns and stuff like that, and the depth to which you have to dig. For example, 8 feet is not enough. You may have to go a little far further deep. Why? Because it's a clay soil versus the red mud soil. I'm telling you this. You are a specialist in that. People run to you for making certain decisions, because foundation is very important. Or you are a superstructure specialist, you are a graphical specialist, you are a specialist of aerial view and elevation view. You do a lot of designs, and you are a specialized in that. You can really be focused on only that. Calling yourself a civil engineer means, it doesn't mean that you should know everything. No, that's what the world expects, but you need not. go behind this madness of what the world demands, that you should know everything. You cannot sell yourself for too long. You will fail, you will flunk. After a period of time, you will not know, you yourself will be confused, you will not know which pathway to take and right. So you really need to identify yourself. I once again repeat, the title is, do not be concerned about the volume or the quantity, but be always focused on the quality and the content and the pathway, and stick to that, right? And to get to that, you really need mentors, you really need to work with your professors, you really need to work with your parents who are already well versed. Probably your father is a well renowned surgeon, and you really need to talk to him. You have interest in getting into medical science, or your father is a good entrepreneur, or he is an executive leader, or he is a director in some company, and he can get you in that line. Or your mother is well versed, she is one of the very well renowned project managers. You can get into project management, do your MBA, and all that things. But then, project management in which field? Project management is a versatile topic, right? Recently I was dealing with one of my friends. He has a skill of project management, but I'm not able to plug. He wants to get into IT, for which he has to do certain certifications, agile certifications, or PMP, PMI, for him to get an entry, right? And then he can expand his skills. But then, he was a project manager in a pharmaceutical industry. It's a live example, and he's not able to find an entry into IT. So what can get you that entry, and then you can expand. Getting into choosing that line will definitely set you that pathway, and then you can expand the volume, right? For initial itself, you can't get into the volume, because for you to expand that quantity, you need a qualitative entry, right? You need a specific entry. In that field, you have many things to learn, right? In that specific core, you have many things to learn. Therefore, always be focused on what is that specific thing that you want to get into, but then make the right choice which suits your passion, which suits your talent, your skill, your caliber, so many things. That's why you need a mentor who can assess you properly, who can tell you, yes, you are making the right choice. Mentor could be your own wife, it could be your own husband, your parents, it could be anyone, or your neighbor, or it could be your uncle or aunt, or whoever it is, right? And make a choice to get the right mentor, no? If you don't get into this, at some point of time, it may all look well in the initial start, but some point of time, as you grow up the ladder in your profession, you will find a problem. All right. Thank you very much for staying in touch with us. Hope the session was useful. Please comment. If you need any specific sessions on specific topics, feel free to write to us. We're always there to help you. God bless. Stay always encouraged. Stay motivated. There is nothing that is impossible that you cannot overcome. You can overcome anything. Only thing, it's matter of time and efforts. All right. Take care. Namaste. Thank you very much. God bless.